Feet and straps just feels so good. It opens up the entire posterior chain and frees up the hip with full mobility and deep flexion and all the things that make everybody crave doing it whenever they come into a session or a class. I do believe that for fresh movers, it's a little bit easier for them to grasp where they are in space if they're taught feet and straps or leg circles and frog or simply leg springs on the tower or the Cadillac or the springboard, a non-movable surface underneath before doing it on the reformer. The added movement of the carriage gives a whole different element to feet and straps that I would argue kind of makes it a completely different exercise. But the cues do transfer and they really do come out of the footwork that we just talked about. So let's get into some feet and straps. I'm coming on downtown. I'm going to use my purple leg springs, which are about a medium heavy. I've got heavier ones and I've got lighter ones. You know, I'm a girl who likes options. All right, finding that pelvis down, which is always the trickiest thing because people are like, pelvis, say what? Right? Which if your client has a hard time finding their pelvis, being on the reformer, well, that's just making the challenge a little bit harder, again, because of the element of the moving carriage. We're going to take advantage of the stable table. Oh, that was a fun little rhyme. The stable table. Hold on to the bottom of the mat if your springs aren't too heavy. Go to the poles if you need to. I'm going up here, and I'm going to press out. Now, it's a strap, not a foot bar, not the floor, but we need to stand and commit through the footwork to find the same kinetic chain of muscular work and energy that we did on the reformer in the footwork. Because that is the line we should be standing in now. It's not a new set of legs. I'm not a different me. I'm the same person over here as over there. Bending in, keeping the weight grounded in the pelvis versus letting the weight of the spring shove into our lumbar, shove into our mid-back, and then we're seeing leg springs become this low back exercise between contracting and extending, contracting and extending. That's not what this is about. Get all this nice and quiet and strong. It should feel the movement of breath. It should feel the springs getting lighter. But what you shouldn't feel are your vertebrae moving all around town. Not unless you actually want to come up off the mat in the advanced things. Now I'm going to go into the circles, and this is where we're really going to see it. I'm going to let go of my thighs. Now I am hanging down in the back of the knees. You can see it clear as day. It's really hard to pull together now. It's really, really hard. So as much as you want to scream, bring heels together, if this weight is collapsing, it's really hard. It's like my bones are in the way because I am shoving weight from unsupported musculature and the bones are just dropping. I'm going to shake that out because it just does not feel good, right? So I go up to the top, open, press down, come together, and up. Leg circles, right? We know that we're not circling from anything in the lumbar, right? We're not giving this and around because you're going to see it everywhere, right? That's not what we're about. At the same time, you want to see musculature. And you're only going to see that by reaching out into the idea of footwork and foot bar, finding the same kinetic chain of standing into space, into the ground, and up into gravity. And that sends me strong up all the way into my upper back. I don't even really need my arms because I'm really getting put into the strength of my posterior. Inner thighs together, not knees together, not squeeze the ball. Think high groin magnetizes and pulls outer hips up and in, right? We see a lot of together, but is there really this feeling of pulling into center versus just, oh, well, my heels are together, right? Open. So if I hang down in knees, you're going to see how now it's almost as if my heels are pulling. I do not have any muscles on now, right? Watch how much harder it is for me to stabilize my low back and not get pushed into any kind of posterior tilt. I can't even feel my left leg right now, to tell you the truth. And then coming up. Now, if I reverse that, you're going to see it pick up my tailbone. Then I have to leverage with my back to go down because I don't have the hammy connection. So if you're seeing what looks like to be a lot of sloppy movement and uncontrolled movement in feet and straps, really, It's a lack of connecting that kinetic chain from your footwork and the feeling of standing down in the ground to go up, because we can't work the leg springs properly and we can't do feet in straps and stay stabilized on the reformer with our torso if the energy of the legs and the weight in the knees is continually dropping. It should be a reaching out, gathering in and up, a reaching out, opening together and up. So then that opposition causes you to get it together